Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K, the 4 units getting played. Always find the value, I will never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
And here we go.
Welcome to the Balking Dead, guys, where there is no sleep for the wicked. It's Tuesday, and we're coming off a nice 3-0 day, guys, and the latter play cashing with big show picks. And both of LJ's props that he tweeted out came through for the good guys. So you already know on this show we're 0-0 today, and all that matters is that, guys. So let's keep doing what we've been doing, and that's fucking these bookies square in the eye hole. Of course, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you don't know, you should know. Go on over there, use that promo code PUBSPORTS, and on your first deposit up to 100, minimum of 25, they will match you. And of course, guys, we do have another freaking sponsor. Why? Because we win and they want in. W, guys. It's a clean energy powder with no come down to your day. Simply by scanning the QR code on screen, you will get 10% off your first order by using the best promo code in the world. Pub Sports, that is. Shout out to the chat, guys. Appreciate you all for coming. Shout out to the best producer in the world, Big Show Picks. Y'all know the drill. Smash the like if you haven't already, and make sure you have the notification bells on. As it is being Tuesday, guys, on the Balking Dead, we bring back Ribeyes with Mike after the last time he was here. He just gave out 3 bets, went 2-1, up 2 units. So this is not a day to miss the MLB prop show, the best MLB prop show that is on God Green Earth. On this show, we will compare the best available line when first opened to the best available line 30 minutes prior to this show, and then compare them to what PrizePicks has to offer. First man up on the board, number 8, Spencer Strider at the Phillies this year has an elite 39.2 K percentage and a 9.5 walk percentage. Opened him up on FanDuel, 9+ at a -138. His closing line is at a -140 on FanDuel, was the best line available. PrizePicks has him at a flat 9, whereas hits, earned runs, and outs were not available on PrizePicks. Lineup is 5 lefties, 4 righties for your Phillies. K per 9 this season, he has an elite, crazy 16 K per 9 at home with a freaking just elite 13.2 on the road, 14.8 versus the left-handed side, and a nice 13.2 versus the right-handed side. Now, we get one of our Mount K-Mores on this show, guys, the GOAT of GOATs, some may call him, and we're talking Spencer Strider. And the question surrounding him today is, what's wrong with Spencer Strider? As he's got hit hard his last 2 games. And I've watched those games, and nothing is wrong with the man other than just bad pitch selection, in my opinion. Why you go up 0-2 on 98+ and then throw 2 just straight uncompetitive pitches where you now have to throw a great pitch, or you're in a 3-2 count, guys. And that's what I have been seeing, guys. Too many pitches, nowhere near the zone to where the batter doesn't even flinch. So let's check out these Phillies numbers over the last 15 days versus right-handed pitchers. They're walking and striking out league average, 6th in batting average, 12th in OPS, but yet 23rd in isolated power. I look at isolated power to tell me how real is their batting average and OPS. So by the numbers, it says absolutely nothing as league average walk and K percentage, but they're not really hitting the ball. And this can let this man be my bad. Sorry, guys. That will allow this man to be out there at least 6+ innings, in my opinion, in this spot. Now, when we look at this man and the lineups that they did give us, because it's no longer projected, is we did get 5 lefties. And since he did add in the changeup this year, his K per 9 is actually higher versus the left-handed side of the plate, while still having that elite 13.2 versus the right-handed side. So lineup says get in if you want to. And now we look at the past history. And last year, Strider seen these Phillies 3 times not being in the playoffs. And he owned them every game, guys, with one of them being a back-to-back, going 6 innings in every game with 6, 13, and a 10-piece for them, never allowing more than one earned run in a game. Well, the numbers said no every single time he played them last year. So he also seen them this year, where the numbers also said no. And he is now a 3-pitch pitcher. And he went out there and just went 6 innings, 1 earned run with 9 strikeouts. Pretty much just dominates this team when he sees them. So there's plenty of ways to back Strider here today as he owns this team. And I expect a bounce back game from a kid who cares way too much about his craft. And I thought maybe I'd get in on his earned runs under 2.5, but at a -185 price to the under, Galloway, they priced me out there. So I go check to see who have they faced in the last 15 days in these numbers, guys. And the only guy we would bet and the only guy we did bet is Bobby Miller. And he went out there 6 innings, 0 earned runs with 7 strikeouts. Other than that, they've seen a bunch of middle of the pack to end of the rotation type of guys. And because of that, you can find me on Spencer Strider, guys, over 8.5 at -136. That is my first bet of the day. Now we get into another stud. As you know, it's Tuesdays, and Tuesdays are freaking stud Tuesdays, ace Tuesdays, not no Taco Tuesday. Number 14 in the black book, Tyler Glasnow versus the Orioles. This year he's got a 29.5 K percent and a 12.5 walk percent. Opened them up last night on FanDuel at a 7+ -148. Morning line was at an 8+ on FanDuel to a +114. And the best line available before this show was +108 on FanDuel to the over 7.5. That's where PrizePicks has them, and the under/over hits allowed on PrizePicks are at a 4.5. Projected lineup today is 6 lefties and 3 righties. His career K per 9, guys, as he's only had 4 games this year and a few games last year coming back off of Tommy John. He has an 11.8 K per 9 at home where he is today and a 10.9 on the road where he's struck out pretty much each side of the plate equally with an 11.1 to an 11.5 K per 9. Now, we keep getting lines on Glasnow like he's Glasnow from 2 years ago. And I mean, I love me some Tyler Glasnow, but I don't love the public also loves him, guys. And that's why we get no favors when we want to bet this man's overs. He was a 6.5 his first 2 weeks, only going 1-1. Then he got jumped to a 7.5, didn't come close. And then fuck it, let's jump him to an 8.5. And he still didn't come close, guys. And no, we still are not getting the 6.5s where he should be. We get a 7.5 again. Well, let's check out these Orioles numbers, guys. Over the last 15 days versus righties, they're not walking at a miserable 5.5%, while being league average in strikeout percent, while being top 6 in every hitting category I look at. So the numbers say no in this spot, guys, where the lineup doesn't mean much when betting this man, as he handles both sides of the plate equally, whether it be strikeout, slugging, batting average. This dude is a fucking hog. So let's look and see who the Orioles who have they faced over this time span of them crushing the ball. And they've seen some decent pitching, guys. Gausman went 8 innings, but only had 4 strikeouts. Berrios went deep, 7.2 innings, but only had 5 strikeouts. Bassett got hammered and didn't make it to the 4th inning. Well, the Brewers pitchers did the damn thing versus this team. Burns went 8 innings with 9 punch-out, and Peralta went 5 with 9 himself. Now, I would put Gausman, Peralta, and Glasnow in a different class than the other two when it comes to striking people out. But at the end of the day, Sharpie 316, roll 34. We do not chase women or K props, and this man should be a 6.5 today. And for that reason, I have to let him go. Even though I do lean this man's over, guys. Good pitching beats good hitting every day of the week, and we preach that here on the Balking Dead. Now we get into another stud, guys, on this show that we like to talk about, and that's Mackenzie Gore versus the Cardinals. Number 57 in the black book. This year he has a 27.5 strikeout percentage and a 10.5 walk percentage. They opened him up on FanDuel at a minus 120 to the over 5.5. Best line available was still on FanDuel at the minus 118 to that, where PrizePicks also has him at that 5.5. Under over pitching outs on PrizePicks is at a 17. Projected lineup today for your Cardinals. 8 righties, 1 lefties. K per 9 this season. He has a 9.3 at home with an 11.3 on the road. Granted, 30 innings at home compared to 42 on the road. And then 13.5 K per 9 versus the left-handed side with a nice 10 strikeouts per 9 innings versus the right. Now we get Mackenzie Gore versus the St. Louis Cardinals, these so-called lefty hitting cards who, over the last 200 plate appearances versus lefties, are disgusting to say the least. Their only good thing they are doing is walking at an elite 11.2%. They're striking out league average and bottom 5 in every hitting category. I did go back to the whole month just to get 188 plate appearances, as I will never go past a whole month personally. So let's see who they faced in that time span. And how about the only person they seen was Kershaw, guys. And Kershaw's mom passed away the game after that, and he got hammered, but he still got 6 strikeouts in that span. And we look at the overall yearly numbers versus these Cardinals. They're the second worst team hitting the baseball, guys, versus lefties. And we talk about multiple ways of getting a K prop, guys. It's not always about the walk and strikeout. It's projecting our guy to be out there long enough to get it, guys. And this is where it comes down to me, is I have no bet on Gore yet, as I do want the lineups, guys, because if you look, Gore does have an 11.5 walk percentage next to his name. I get it. He has been walking people, and the Cards like to walk. So I do know this by watching Gore and betting on Gore, guys, is the fact is he is taking his side sessions with a batter in the box. This guy's trying to work on his release point with batters in the box because he knows that's been a problem. He's actually had more of a problem walking lefties than righties, and we're getting actually projected 8 righties today. So at the end of the day, make sure you are paying attention to Twitter, as I will tweet out how I pulled the trigger on this man, whether it be his outs or his strikeouts. I do think I am going to buck the numbers here, guys, where we know on this show the numbers are like lawyers. They don't necessarily tell you the truth. They just don't necessarily lie to you. They just don't necessarily tell you the whole truth. And yeah, they say they're not striking out, but I think Mackenzie Gore goes out and does the damn thing, guys, versus a team who's just not out there hitting lefties. But I need the lineups to come out to see if I want to take his outs or strikeouts, because I do like to pride myself on making a better bet when the situation calls for it. We're now going to hit a quick opening segment, guys, with Ribeyes from Mike, and come back with Pimp Slap Play of the Day, guys, for some hitting props on this Tuesday slate.
I didn't want salmon! I said it 4 times! Wedding is horseshit.
We're back, guys, on this Tuesday edition of the Balking Dead to talk some RBI props with the best man to ever do this RBI shit. And I'm speaking Mike M. How you doing, my guy? As I've been looking forward to this since last Tuesday.
What up, Sharpie, man? Thanks for having me back on. I appreciate the invite and the opportunity, brother. It's good to hear from you and see you on screen and doing your thing and making that cash. I know you did some winners for everybody last night, and hoping to do my part today, man. Let's get after it.
Well, before we get after it real quick, I want to talk about last week, guys. He went 2-1 up 2 units, guys, and I got a message that he was pissed, disgusted with himself. I wanted to sweep. I expected to sweep. So that's the type of motherfuckers I want to bring on here, guys. Guys that expect to fucking win, guys. So let's talk about it, guys. As Tuesday seemed to be a giant day for me, guys. This is also a big day for Mike today, guys, as this guy was licking his chops, and he wanted to talk about 4 games today. So the first one on your list is the Oakland A's versus Cleveland Guardians. How you going to get in here?
Yeah. Yeah, man, I love the card today. I could have played 20 RBI spots today. And I get so upset about this stuff, not just about giving out the picks and publicly having a record, but I play these things, man. I want to win. I like to parlay them. I like to put them together in round robins. And, losing this doesn't get us there. So even though we're plus 2 units, we're going to try to run this thing back. So I'm going to go to my guy here in Cleveland, and it is Jose Ramirez. And I got him at a plus 120. A couple of things to look at from a pitching perspective and who he's going up against. This pitcher in his last 30 days is puking up a 8.06 ERA. Further to that, when there's runners on base, the on-base percentage numbers go from 0.237 overall to a 0.365. So I'm not huge in the statistics, but what that tells me is there's a mental block or a mental issue taking place with this pitcher when he's got guys on base. And I think Ramirez, who's leading the team in hits at 76, has an OBP of 0.349 and 11 home runs right now, is the guy to get in his head when there's base and guys on position here. He's got 3 games against Oakland. He's got 3 RBIs. He's got 5 RBIs and a home run in his last 7. And he's got the hot bat right now. So from my vantage point, it's Jose Ramirez. There's a whole bunch of guys in this spot that I like. But I do like Jose Ramirez particularly as my go-to leadoff and my highest ranked guy. My lowest price on the card today at plus 120.
To back with it, Medina is only supposed to go like 3 innings and then be followed by Waldachuk, whatever the fuck you want to call him, guys. But what I'm gonna get is a lot of people will say Cleveland doesn't hit lefties, and they don't hit major league pitching lefties. The guys that don't belong, they rake, bro. Go back over the last 2 weeks and see the guys that don't belong. They've punished them. So you're going to have double action on that RBI with the next guy they bring in is what I'm getting at. So next guy up on the board, guys, is 2 teams going in different directions. And this is the Rockies at the Reds in that bandbox of a stadium in Cincinnati. How you getting paid in this one?
Yeah, so here's an opportunity where contrary to, I love these Reds guys, Ellie De La Cruz, Jonathan Indiaz, the whole gamut. But I'm going to go on the opposite side, and I'm going to tell you why this is here. It's incredibly hard for teams to get double-digit streaks going, and we've got the Reds now facing a 10th potential win in a row against a team in Colorado Rockies who I think are at 6 or 7 losses in a row right now, and they stink. But we're almost at that intersecting point where putting money on the Rockies in the next couple of games blindly should pay a profit. And where I'm going to go with that and expecting Colorado to pick up a win is to Ryan McMahon. And I got Ryan McMahon at a plus 150. All the trends and all the numbers right now are showing that there is a buy on Ryan McMahon. His home run position opened at 425 today. It's down to plus 400. Which is still a beautiful number. He's got improved power. He's hitting better when he's away from Coors. He's got a 13.7% barrel rate. And this is a game where Ballpark Pal shows huge favorable scoring position. 26% increased chance and likelihood of home runs and an increase in 13% chance of runs. Lively's last 15 games has got a 6.57 ERA. And, I talked to you guys about that 10-game rule here. McMahon, if the Rockies are going to pull the game and win this game, McMahon's going to have to be the guy that does it. His last 7 days, he's got 6 games played. He's got 10 hits in his last 15. He's got 7 RBIs in his last 30 days. He's got 23 RBIs. So where McMahon goes, so do the Rockies. And I expect the Rockies to come up with a W here in the next couple of days.
And what was that plus money spot?
Plus 150.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, I've got a Cincinnati fan that I see a lot. That's my buddy, and he's been high on that kid since he came out. Like, he's been like telling, hey, bro, they finally called up our stud. They finally called up our stud. It was never talking about De La Cruz. It was always McMahon. So definitely that as they go, he's been going. So let's talk it out, guys. The next game on the board, guys, where I'm not breaking down the pitchers, but I will touch on both of them at the end. And this is Eovaldi versus Cease and the Rangers at the White Sox. I'm looking forward to what Mike has to say on this one, as I think one of these guys gets blasted personally. So I want to see if he runs the hitting prop that correlates.
Yeah, so, the situation that I was talking about the other day, specifically as it relates to Texas, and I don't know why, how, where, when, or why this makes sense, but when the Texas Rangers win the first 5, the next game has gone over at over an 80% rate. So right now what we have from the last game with the Texas Rangers, they won the first 5 the other day. Here they come back, and what I expect to be an over situation, not a situation around who's going to win the game. I've certainly got some thoughts and opinions around that as well. But where I'm going to go here is with our guy, Luis Robert Jr., and a plus 190 RBI number right now. It opened up at plus 210. It's all the way down to plus 190. Huge barrel rate at 14.4%. Eovaldi, he's hitting a .400 against Eovaldi. He's got 5 at-bats. He's got 2 hits and 3 RBIs, 17 RBIs at home, 18 versus the AL. And, he's a pretty consistent, kind of steady Eddie guy that just hits the ball. He gets bad on ball where we're seeing that high barrel rate. We've got a situation where Ballpark Pal's showing a plus 15% opportunity for home runs. The home run hits, so does the RBI. And, one of the things that I talked about previously with all my RBI spots is I like to play the full unit on the RBI, and then I'll back it up with a half or a quarter unit sprinkle, depending on the cost that's associated. Because if they get the home run, you're cashing them both. And if they only get the RBI, you're still going to be plus money. So don't leave that money on the table. There's opportunities out there on the back end of it.
Plus monies. Shout out to the 65 live, not shout out to the 33 who haven't hit the like button, guys. I don't ask for much, guys. I've been putting money in your pocket. I've been pulling people on the show that's been putting money in your pocket. Hit the damn like button before I just go on a sick one. Last game of the day, guys, and we're going to go to the freeway series between the Dodgers and Angels. Who are you looking at here?
This is crazy. I'm going to go to the guy, the man, the myth, the future legend, Ohtani. Ohtani's RBI today is plus 220. I don't understand it. The guy's on the hottest streak of his career. He's out there 13-game hitting streak. He's gotten a hit in 16 of his last 17 spots. So, getting on base, getting those guys cycling around the bases, produce runs. In June, he's hitting an amazing .400. He's got 9 home runs and 20 RBIs. Not only is he killing it this month, but in terms of the Los Angeles Angels franchise history, he's right now second in home run opportunities or home runs produced before the All-Star break all time. So his bat is freaking hot. And from a motivation standpoint, he's never hit an RBI or a hit in general against who he's up against tonight in Kershaw. So I expect Kershaw to be motivated and fired up. But here's the thing about Ohtani tonight. He's not pitching. So by him not pitching, what's he going to do? He's going to focus on getting that 0 off his scorecard and wants to continue his pursuit to be the best guy in Major League Baseball history. So give me that plus 220 in a situation where they're expecting a 6% increase in likelihood of home runs on Ballpark Pal as well. I like to have those numbers correlate from a hitting, producing runs perspective. Again, you guys know the deal. Home runs equal RBIs. And in this case here, at a plus 220 and the guy's hottest streak of his career, there's no way I'm not going to take an opportunity with 4 to 5 at-bats on Shohei Ohtani to pick up an RBI for us. Plus 220.
Oh, plus 220. Well, I don't usually give out hitting props, but I had to talk one and give out what I'm going to put on a little bit on something today, guys. I know my Dodgers. I know my Kershaw. Hunter Renfroe has owned this dude throughout his lifetime, guys. And I'm going to take Renfroe for a double tonight at plus 470, and I'm going to take his home run for plus 370, guys. He is clanking one off the wall or over the wall off this man today. It just is what it is. I've seen it my whole fucking life with Hunter Renfroe. So I will be on some old Hunter Renfreezy myself in this one. And I usually don't play hitting props whatsoever, but I've seen this 100 times in my lifetime, bro. Hunter Renfroe is going to yop this fucker's head off today. He may strike out 2 or 3 times, but golly, if he hangs that curveball to Hunter Renfroe, he is in some real fucking trouble. Quick little recap for those showing up for Ribeyes with Mike. He's going to start off the day with his lowest price on the board, and I get it. We're going to go to the Guardians, Jose Ramirez, plus 120 for his RBI. Then we're going to head on over to Cincinnati into that bandbox of a ballpark, and we're going to look at a Reds player, not the one you're probably thinking of, but Ryan McMahon. As the Reds go, he goes, guys. So plus 150 on Ryan McMahon's RBI. And then we're going to head on over to a good pitching matchup, Eovaldi versus Cease. But we both tend to think this may be going over today, guys. And he's going to be looking at Luis Robert from the White Sox at plus 190 for his RBI, as it's already came down 30 cents from the opening line. And then the last game of the day, his last bet of the day, the Freeway Series Game 1 opener, guys. The GOAT himself, GOAT Tani, Shohei Ohtani, RBI plus 220, guys, is the way he's going to moonwalk his way out of the building. Appreciate you more than you know, Mike. Let's keep this winning train going with Ribeyes with Mike. Thanks again for coming on. Want to tell everybody where they can find you and what you have going on.
Yeah, man, you guys already know Pimp Slap POD on Twitter. Shout out to the chat, all you guys coming in here and supporting our guy Sharpie, doing what he does and putting money in your pockets. Smash that like button for him. It don't cost you shit to hit that like button, but it shows respect to the guy that's doing it on a daily basis. It takes hard work to grind out these numbers and put some spots in front of you guys that he's confident and trust in. And all he's asking you to do is hit that motherfucking like button. So shout out to you, Sharpie. Thanks for having me today, and let's get that cash, my guy.
Hey, anytime you want on and you have extra time, you just gotta say so, bro. You're more than welcome. You come fucking ready, factual base, stacks, bro, like numbers, and you fucking win. So let's keep it rolling. No salmon, no salmon. We're gonna hit it.
I didn't want salmon. I said it 4 times. Winning is horseshit.
Prop show in the market.
Welcome to another edition of The Balking Dead.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of EPL on
Class is in session, hitting the books on Pub Sports.
This is another exciting edition of the main event on Talking Ant.
Nothing wrong with salmon. I'm underrated. Nothing. It's just funny, bro. We want ribeyes. We want steaks. We want ducks on the pond. Welcome back, guys, to the Balking Deaders. We've covered the first 3 pitchers already. Ribeyes with Mike, and now we're going to finish up the last 3 pitchers on the board today. Number 68 in the Black Book, George Kirby at the Yankees has a nice 27 strikeout percentage on the year and an 8.5 walk percent. This year opened him up 6+ at plus 106 on FanDuel. Best line available before the show was on BetMGM to even money at that 6+. PrizePicks had him at a 5.5, where the under/over was 5.5 for his hits. Lineup is 6 righties and 3 lefties. K per 9 this season. He has a 9.1 at home, a 6.6 on the road where he is today, 7 K per 9 versus the left-handed side, and an 8.6 versus the right-handed side. Now, George Kirby, guys, gets his second matchup with these Yankees, where the first time he dicked them down, going 8 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs with 7 punchies. When the numbers said yes to the walk-in strikeout percentage, but no to the way the Yankees were crushing the ball at the time. But we know good pitching beats good hitting, and that's what happened on that day. Now, we look at the Yankees' numbers over the last 15 days. They're not walking at abysmal 6.2%. The only good thing is they're not doing is striking out, while being dead last in batting average, second worst in OPS, and their isolated power numbers are middle of the pack. This Yankees team is just not the same without Aaron Judge in this lineup, and LeMahieu regressing to his worst season to date as his strikeout percentage has doubled from last year's elite 13%. At the moment, guys, I do not have a bet in, as I did want the lineups to come out. And I'm looking for a team that chases right here, guys, because that's where it seems to be where he's done his damage. Where he hasn't done his damage, guys, are teams that make contact outside the zone. And a la the Guardians, Padres, and the A's. And Kirby didn't have more than 4 strikeouts in any of those games. So I already do have some bets in. And the lineup did come out 10 minutes before the show. I didn't have time to get to that lineup, as I was more concerned with getting to the Cole lineup and getting the bet in on Cole after that lineup came out. So let's talk about Garrett Cole, and I will tweet out if I make a play on Kirby, because after this show, I will get to work on the lineups that I need to get worked on that have came out. Garrett Cole, number 5 in the Black Book, versus the Mariners. This year, he's got a 26.4 K percent and a 7.8 walk percentage. Opened him up last night on FanDuel, 8+ minus 146. Closing line was at a 7+ minus 132. Actually, it went up to 34 by the time I got to my bet in. PrizePicks has him at a flat 8, and that 134 was on FanDuel. And his hits, earned runs, outs were not available on PrizePicks. The lineup is 5 righties, 4 lefties. K per 9 this season, 10.1 K per 9 at home, 8.8 on the road. Granted, 55 innings at home compared to 36 on the road. Striking out lefties at a 10 K per 9, while righties at a nice 9.3. Now we get Garrett Cole, guys, and what looks to be a matchup from the baseball gods in more than one way. And the books know that, as they have added a lot of juice onto this, man, when it really should be an even money type bet. And even one book did try to open them up at 8.5 at plus money. And I'm like, really? Really? Like, I get it, but Sharpie 316, roll 34. We don't chase women or K props. Now, I will pay the juice as I get being taxed, guys. I grew up in the California State Prison, and this right here is what you call a Mariner's tax. As we look at their numbers over the last 15 days versus right-handed pitchers, they're walking at an elite 12%, bottom 5 in batting average, middle of the pack OPS, and 7th in isolated power, while striking out at a 25.6% clip. Well, you can take that nice little freaking walk percentage and pound it square up your Yahoo, because this guy's over 1.5% better than league average when it comes to walking people. Now, let's talk about it. I was waiting, so we did get the lineup of 4 lefties. And it's not just this year, guys, but through Cole's whole career, he struck out lefties almost 2 strikeouts more per 9 versus the left-handed side. And we get him at home. Not just this year, guys, but since last year, guys, he has at least a 1 strikeout more per 9 at Yankee Stadium. And when we look at Cole, guys, versus a K percent of 24 or worse, when he's faced teams out of the division, he is 6-2 to the over 7.5, averaging only 8 strikeouts a game. Not a lot of wiggle room there, guys. But when we look at these games when he is at home, he is 3-0 to the over 7.5, and that average bumps up way to 10.6 strikeouts a game. Now, we look at the lineups when he faced those numbers, guys. He hit the over anytime they had 4 or more lefties in the lineup with a 24K percentage or worse. And to boot, he had a back-to-back with the Seattle Mariners last year, guys, when the numbers said no. And to do what he did even in a back-to-back is Icole Chingalo way. And that's because they ran a left-handed dominant lineup versus this man. And he went 6 to 7 innings, getting 8 strikeouts in each game. Now, 8 strikeouts the first game, okay, cool. But to back that up on a back-to-back, guys, is fucking absurd. So, I was waiting for lineups as over the last week and a half, I've noticed these Mariners to be a little more analytical. Like when they went up against Gio, they did run out 7 righties instead of lefties. And today we get their everyday lineup. And as that lineup came out 10 minutes before the show, and so am I now on Garrett Cole, guys, over 7.5. I got in at a minus 136. And I love me GCZ today, guys. I just will not go up to the next number. No, I got in at minus 134. My bad. That's the number I got. It was minus 132. Now, minus 134. So, we've got 2 straight bets in today. We're looking at 2 lineups still for Kirby and Gore once we get off this show. So, make sure you're tuning into Twitter. As yesterday, I tweeted out the 2 plays that we did end up pulling the trigger on once the lineups came out. And I had to ponder the Kelly one a little bit more and more, and I'm glad I did pull the trigger because I was right. So let's keep it rolling, guys. Black Book 34, the best pitcher in this book. Nah, I'm joking. It's Strider, really, but my favorite pitcher, Clayton Kershaw at the Angels. This year he has a nice 29.3 strikeout percentage with an elite 6.3 walk percentage. Open him up on DraftKings 7+ minus 115. The best line available now is at MGM to the 7+ at minus 110. PrizePicks has him at a 6.5, whereas over is at 5. Projected lineup today for your Angels: 8 righties and 1 lefty. K per 9 this year, he has an 11.7 K per 9 at home. He is on the road where he has a 10 K per 9. He has a 5.5 K per 9 versus lefties this season. Super small sample size where he does have an 11.4 throughout his career. He does have an elite 11.7 K per 9 versus the right-handed side. Now we finish the day with Clayton the Great. And this looks like a matchup from the baseball gods when we look at these Angels numbers over the past 200 plate appearances versus left-handed pitching. And they are walking at an elite 11.2%, 20th in batting average, 7th in OPS, and 3rd in isolated power. Now, you can take that elite walk percentage and pound that up your ass, guys. It's Kershaw doesn't walk people, as he has an elite 6.3 walk percentage on the year. And now, who have the Angels seen, guys, in these great hitting numbers in that time span? How about Big Fram Diesel, who went 7 innings, 0 earned runs with 7 strikeouts? Jesus Luzardo went 5 innings with 1 earned runs and also getting 7 strikeouts. Paxton did get hit, only going 3 innings with 5 strikeouts, where so did Andrew Heaney. He only went 4 innings while getting 5 strikeouts. And that's the only guys I would even look to be betting on, guys. And I've actually X'd out Heaney on the year. But when we look at what Paxton and Heaney, what got them in the trouble, they each walked at least 3 people or more in the games that they seen the Angels. And if you're going to walk that many people, you're going to run into trouble. It wasn't like they got hit hard. The way I've attacked these Angels all year, guys, with a pitcher is with an elite strikeout percentage to boot with an elite walk percentage. And we get that right here with Clayton Kershaw. And that to me says fire away. I am on the over 6.5, guys, here at -115. And the one knock you could say on this man is he hasn't been the same guy on the road as he has been at home. But I'd like to say he hasn't had a matchup like this by the numbers since the Milwaukee Brewers. And man, when we put up, and he went out there and just put up an 8 spot. Now, there are a few guys who do have some good power numbers versus Kershaw here. I'd like to back a Renfroe home run or his double prop like I was talking earlier. That man has been a thorn in the Dodgers' side and in Kershaw's side throughout his whole career as a Padre. Now, good pitching beats good hitting, and I expect the GOAT to show up as he is in the top 3 National Cy Young Award voting right now, and he's on his way to his 3,000 strikeout sometime this career. And this year, guys, it's actually looked like Kershaw to me has been hunting the strikeouts just a little more, guys. And this is a guy who normally doesn't look to hunt the strikeout, looks to pitch to contact. But to me, seems like he has that 3,000 mark circled. And I went back and looked, guys, and he is tied for his highest strikeout percentage of any time since 2017, guys. And that may be with that 3,000 strikeouts looming, or that may mean that Kershaw also knows he's going 6 innings, and this guy understands now that he needs to empty his tank because that's pretty much been the cap on this man over the last few seasons. So sign me up for 22 in the Freeway Series opener, please and thank you. I just spilled shit all over my stuff. Okay, good. I'm glad it wasn't my good book. This is just a daily notebook. All right. If you're just showing up for the recap, please hit the like button as it does help the algorithms more than you know. Today on the Balking Dead, we started off talking Spencer Strider, and I took him over 8.5 strikeouts at a -136. Then we talked just a few guys where we're going to need lineups to come out before I decide if I will pull the trigger on them or if I just let them go. And that was Mackenzie Gore and George Kirby. Then we got into Garrett Cole, and his lineup came out 10 minutes before the show, and I was able to run it. So we are going to run it as well. Over 7.5 strikeouts at that -134. We did talk us some Tyler Glasnow, and I had to let him go as the public just loves to bet him, and they keep putting him a number where he shouldn't be. We did finish the day off by talking Clayton Kershaw, and we took him over 6.5 strikeouts at -15 in the last game of the night, the first game of the Freeway Series. Today was a giant card, guys, as I had over 12 pitchers in the black book to choose from. The only other guy I'm actually looking at today is Nathan Eovaldi, but I need lineups before I make the call, or if I'm going to take his outs, strikeouts, or just let him go. As I have a heavy lean to Cease's under 6.5, as I think it's being overvalued after we smashed him versus the Dodgers, but we also know on this show the Dodgers can't hit high velocity, so make sure you do have the notification bells on, as I will tweet out my action when I pull the trigger or if I pull the trigger on the guys that I'm waiting on. We now will be putting the timestamps in for those who are busy. At worst, the 2 recaps on the hitting and pitching props we bet that day. At best, a timestamp next to every pitcher or breakdown we've had. Appreciate you all tuning in to the best MLB prop show on God's green earth, the Balking Dead, on what we could only hope, guys, to keep rolling and to keep going and to keep mowing these bookies down. As you already know, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PUBSPORTS. Get a match deposit up to $100 on your first deposit, minimum of $25. Until next time, I'm Sharpie's Bets. This show is produced by Big Show Picks. Special guest today was Pimp Slap Pod, and this is on Pub Sports Radio. Some say we be pubbing. I say pay me.
Keep firing, assholes!